years and it's gone nowhere, and then this motherfucker rolls up, blows a guy's head off, and it's front page news, rightfully so. But it brings that conversation back into the zeitgeist, and then now, arguably, they're doing everything they can to suppress this guy to the point where, like on Reddit, for example, you can't mention Luigi at all. You get banned. The subreddit gets like pushed down. The whole thing. People are trying to find like creative ways around it. I don't know.
Sorry, I realized that my my stream was muted on TikTok for this whole time.
Oh shit.
Isn't that nuts?
Anyways, it's I think that that speaks volumes, because from everyone I know, whether or not they're right or left or regardless of the views on anything, they all pretty much unified behind him. Not necessarily, once again, no one's saying that what he did was right. It's just that they understand where he was coming from.
Yeah.
And it recognizes how broken that system is, and that something drastic needs to be done to remedy it.
Dude, yeah. Yeah, no, and you're not wrong. Like, just the general perception of Luigi has been positive. And it is wild. Like, someone was killed. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, this guy had a family or whatever, and they died. Let me use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, I'm back.
No worries.
I kind of had to be my own production team because because I didn't realize, like I said, that the TikTok yeah, no. And honestly, dude, like I had almost forgotten that whole thing happened with Luigi until you brought it back up, actually.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with this trial.
Yeah.
You know, like how well it's covered.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're trying to downplay it or not.
You know, and too, like the whole thing and the way that it happened as well was very, very odd. Like, I don't know, like the way that they found him, the way that like he did it, you know what I mean? It was just kind of a bizarre thing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember some people were talking like, oh yeah, he's got to be like some sort of like, I don't know, like assassin or something like that. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I mean, I don't really know. If I'm being honest, it's so weird. So weird. I don't know. And again, too, like if I'm being honest, too, like I feel like
orbital thrusters.
I want to get into conspiracy theory a little bit, because it's strange how basically like a couple years ago, where should we drop? Where we dropping, boys?
We do this first here.
Okay, bet.
This is gonna be a carry.
Like a couple years ago, like conspiracy theories were just like, it was just taboo. I'd say a couple of years. I don't exactly know how many years it's been, but it was like completely taboo to, you know, talk about conspiracies, right? Like any sort of conspiracy, like whether it was 9/11 conspiracy or whatever, right? But now it's like we're almost oversaturated with conversation about conspiracy, you know what I mean? I don't know. I know, and some of the stuff too, like that would have been wild back then, right? Was like verified to be true in some instances. And so I don't know. Like part of me is like I can't even worry about what's gonna happen anymore because it's like probably something crazy is going on that I don't know about. But
yeah.
What can you do? You know? Nothing. I mean, I don't know.
Not worth worrying over.
Not really. It'll drive you nuts. You know what I mean?
Oh, easily.
Yeah, yeah.
And shoot you all. Remember this. Every day is a good day to die for democracy.
Holy. I wanted to make some like I don't know, it was like a shirt or something. Like I wanted to design a shirt with like Mangione Brothers or something like that. You know what I mean? Like some sort of Mario affiliation. It's probably been done by now though.
Yeah, I think they've merchandised that already quite a bit.
Yeah, yeah. I was late to it.
Dropping a pin, west, 200 meters. Tagging map.
I think when did that happen? Did that happen before November?
Rare sample acquired.
Outpost destroyed.
I thought it was October, but I could be wrong.
I don't remember. It may have been October. I don't remember. It was just, again, like I feel like the real big focus was like what stuff that was going on in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Israel, Trump almost being killed twice. Like
Yeah.
that in and of itself was wild. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like the fact that somebody like shot at him, and then that another person wanted to shoot at him. Like we've had assassination attempts before. You know what I mean? But it's like, I don't know.
I think for a lot of people, when you talk about political assassinations, that's something in the past.
Yeah.
Like it happened, but you'd assume that security is so tight nowadays that it would be impossible. And yet, one guy, the fucking gun.
That was nuts. I think that, and again, like different people have different opinions on what happened, but I think that won him the election, if I'm being real with you.
I mean, it certainly didn't hurt.
No, not at all.
He was definitely able to ride the, God saved me so I could save you train.
Yeah, and dude, the number of people who actually like adopted that rhetoric, it was nuts. You know what I mean? Like, I've heard some of like the some of his supporters and like what they say, and some of like the crazier things that they say. You know what I mean? And to me, it's wild. Like, and this is back in 2016, 2018, or whatever. But there was talk of like people were saying that they had visions of him sitting on the right hand of God, And I'm not sure how like familiar you are with like with Christian rhetoric or not, but it's like that's like kind of heretical, like in and of itself.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's just like it felt like the world collectively lost their mind when he became president. It was wild. It was so wild. And then when he got in office again, you know what I mean? Like I feel like public opinion around him after January 6th was just so negative. It shocked a lot of people, I think, that he became president again.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know if I can hit this. Dude, these Tesla towers are nuts.
Yeah, they're really hard to destroy.
I don't even know how to hit it, actually. Like, I might be screwed here. Anyway, dang man, this is some deep conversation. Like how often do you have talks like this on Helldivers? Huh? You say it all the time?
No. Usually you get into a lobby where a guy's like playing characters. It's hilarious.
Huh?
I said what happens most commonly is you get into a lobby where someone's like role playing for a character.
Oh yeah.
Very seriously.
Yeah.
It's all very lighthearted.
I had a guy, I was playing with him earlier actually, and he was like, some guy shot me, and he was like, he started off by saying, do you want me to assassinate this traitor or whatever? And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. And then he just kept it going, and I was like, are you doing a bit? Like, like what is going on?
Democracy!
Found something.
Reloading! Rare sample collected!
Oh boy.
Package fire!
Oh, no, okay. I did think of something that I wanted to ask you. So, one of the big things that we hear about a lot here is like how the triages in Canadian healthcare are just like totally like ridiculously bad. Like the wait times are incredible. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what? How are they? Like from your perspective? Like I haven't actually talked to anybody from there about that.
Yeah. So it really depends on where you live.
Yeah.
So I'm in a major city, the largest city in Canada. And so from a resource perspective, we have a very high resource area. It's not like a rural setting. So with that regard, shit gets done pretty quickly now. I think there's a few different areas where you can make complaints. So the one is like, oh, I came to emerge and I waited, a number of hours to be seen. Something along those lines. And the reality with that is that a lot of people who come to emerge don't need to emerge, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're coming to emerge and you're waiting for quite a few hours, there's a non-zero chance you probably didn't really come to emerge, and so you were triaged very low acuity, and because of that, you just have to wait around until your thing comes up, and then you finally get seen, and they can be like, listen, you probably didn't see us, but we're still going to see you. We see everybody. Now that, unfortunately, is is more of an indictment of the fact that we have a very significant family doctor shortage. And that's probably one of our biggest problems, because that bleeds into everything else. Because the way people access care in Canada is through their family doctor. So one of the big differences is you couldn't walk into a surgeon's office, sight unseen, and be like, hey, I'm here, I want you to look at my foot. You have to be referred to the surgeon, who's a specialist, by a primary care doctor. So if you don't have a primary care doctor, you can easily see how that system falls apart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's an unfortunate situation, and something they've been trying to rectify for quite some time. The way that they're kind of getting around it for the time being is that these patients will come through Emerge and be triaged and wait a really long time, and then they'll get to see the surgeon that way, which is unfortunate because it just kind of screws up the entire system. As for timing for actual surgeries, which is one of the things that we track, if you look at things that are time sensitive, so things like cancer surgeries or vascular surgeries, heart surgery, spine surgery, that type of stuff, where the outcome is dependent on how quickly we get to those patients, we do a great job. But when you look at surgeries that are entirely elective, right? So that unfortunately, just due to the nature of the surgery, it just doesn't get done urgently. You are going to, right?
Yeah.
And so the difference there is that, in a private system, you could go somewhere else and you can pay out of pocket to be like, hey, I'm willing to pay that surgery, operate on me like today. So you can't really do that. You can't jump the queue. Now, it's good and bad. It's good in the sense that we are able to control our resources, and the surgeries that need to take place in a timely fashion do take place in a timely fashion. But the stuff that doesn't need to take place in a timely fashion does wait, and I think that's where people, get a negative stigma about it. Now, it all, these are triage on the level of, is this something that causes pain? So, for example, hip and knee replacements were a big thing in Ontario that they looked at. It's about 7 years ago. Our wait times were bad. They were about a year and a half. And so they put a huge amount of funding into it, and now our hip and knee wait times are a month, right? Which are
That's a lot better.
Good.
Yeah, that's like,
exactly.
yeah.
But it's a perfect example of where kind of politics and medicine intersect in Canada, because it was a hot button topic, and so the provincial government put a lot of weight behind it, put in the way of funding it, and so we were able to actually make a big difference. Now, if you look at something like, let's say, mental health. So mental health is very, very unsexy. The political sphere, as well as in medicine, and is just horribly underfunded in most places. And so that's one of the areas where you have, unfortunately, really long wait times. Now, mind you, if you're actively suicidal and you need to be seen, you will be. But if, let's say, you're waiting to see a psychiatrist for, moderate depression or anxiety or something like that, that's where you're going to have to wait quite a while, unfortunately. And again, it comes down to this idea of the systems managed in a top-down manner with resources are limited, and so people that need it fastest are always going to be the ones that are getting it the fastest, and so that can obviously seem like disparity, but really it's just somebody out there triaging this based on what needs to be filled first. But I think that in a lot of ways, it's just, until that becomes a sexy topic and gets buy-in from politicians and more funding, it's just not going to change for a long time. Yeah, that's one of those areas that is really, it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
It's not it's not like our mental health is terrible, and the other thing too is it's not the fact that you can be homeless on the street and have mental health issues and walk into the Emerge and get admitted to a psych ward and get on psychiatric medication, and it's completely covered and you don't pay a cent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there is that aspect to it, but like it is being dealt with. It's just that, you know, your average individual who's living their life, maintaining to a certain degree, but has problems with anxiety, depression, or something like that, getting that person the help they need, unfortunately, they're the ones that are probably going to be waiting quite a while.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, and that's wow, that's very interesting actually. 'Cause I don't wait. So there, and when Bernie Sanders was running here, right? Like a lot of the conversation was around it had to do with Canada's healthcare system. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
There was different polemic. People were saying different things and stuff like that. You being within the medical field and seeing it yourself, it's a very interesting take.
I mean, the reality is, like, a lot of what we do is based on metrics, right? Like,
Yeah.
quality improvement metrics. If you make a change, if you do something to a system, or if you want to make a comparison between systems, you need to have something you're looking at, and you need to have a change in your variable, and then you'll see whether or not there's an effect. It's just like the basic scientific method, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And what we do know is that for the vast majority of markers for healthcare, providing of healthcare outcomes, life expectancies, infant mortality, all of that stuff, we do better than the United States. And not only do we do better than the United States, we do better than the United States while paying a tenth of what you guys do per capita.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's the big thing.
But I mean, there are certainly better systems than we have, but it works reasonably well. Any major industrialized country has some sort of a single payer system, a socialized system, whether it's two-tiered in some places where there's a private and a public that kind of run hand in hand, and then the private system back funds the public system. So like the idea that people who can pay do pay a certain amount, and then a certain amount of that funding goes back into the public system to kind of support it. That does exist in other places in the world. And then you can even have situations where you have private insurers. So you have private insurers and you have a public system, and those two things work kind of in parallel, or one supports the other. So there are a number of different ways about it, and I think realistically our system probably will evolve into that at some point, to take advantage of it. Like it makes sense. But as it stands right now, I mean, the biggest threat that we have, the biggest issue that we have really is that it's very hard for people to get family doctors because we don't incentivize, we don't pay our family doctors very well. And the other issue is that when you come out as a family doctor, you can do all of these things that have nothing to do with family medicine. So you could open a clinic where you administer Botox, or you can open a clinic where you give fillers, or laser, or a multitude of other things that you need a medical license to do, but it has nothing to do with family practice. And the reality is they can make a lot more money doing that. So why do they want the headache of maintaining a family practice with all the overhead and all of the nuisance? And you're going to pay me less money to do that. Like, it's just, that's one of the biggest issues that we face.
Yeah, no, that definitely sounds like an issue within the system that really needs to be rethought in some way. I mean, I don't know. Like, in your opinion, do you think family doctors should be incentivized more, or?
Oh, definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
The frustrating thing that's happening in Ontario is that the Ford government, so the Conservative government in Ontario, just won another term. He did a lot to weaken healthcare in the province and pulled a lot of funding away from areas. The way the funding works for healthcare in Canada is just a very bizarre situation because all of healthcare is funded on the federal level. So the federal government gives the provinces a shit ton of money each, and then they administer it on a provincial level, but the money still all came from the same place. And then they kind of decide what makes sense in that province. And the difficulty is he wanted to go after these ideas of these like surgery centers, like these semi-privatized models. And it's not that they didn't work, it's just like the need wasn't really there, but it was a good money-making venture for a small number of people. And certainly the bigger issue of, once again, family doctors was not being sorted whatsoever. And the other thing that just makes no sense is they want to put a bunch of money towards it. And one of the things they're going to do is to convince people to go into family medicine is they're going to pay your medical tuition. But the obvious problem with that is that if you get into med school today and you want to become a family doctor because your med school tuition is going to be paid, that person, that doctor, isn't going to be a doctor for another 6 years, right?
Yeah.
And even if you convince a huge portion of people to become family doctors, the first one rolling out of this program is 6 years away.
Yeah.
Whereas you have tens of thousands of trained family doctors that are just not practicing family medicine because you just don't pay them well enough to do it. So why wouldn't you take that money and simply change the fee schedule to pay them people better who already have all the training and the licensing to do it, and they just need to be incentivized to switch their practice. And so it's a classic example of like you come into a business and these outsiders take a look at the business from the outside and be like, I can fix this problem, and then they make a bunch of suggestions, and then the guys that actually work on the floor every single day are like, this is the stupidest idea I've ever heard.
Yeah.
They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They don't work here. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of this stuff is.
I think we need a dip.
Super
I think we need to leave. Sorry. No. We need to get out of here.
It's one of those situations where there are solutions on the horizon, and things are starting to move in the right direction. But correcting this course that we've gotten into is just going to obviously take quite a while.
Yeah. No, that's very interesting. Wow. Wow. And there's honestly like there's such a nuance too. Like again from like the perspective of the United States, like we hear about y'all's medical system, right? Which we don't have a frame of reference for. You know what I mean? But like we hear people talk about it, how it is, you know what I mean? But there's like this, and it's like, of course that's happening. You know what I mean? There's like this a whole other layer to it, right? That we're not seeing, but it's weird. It's like you don't know what you don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And I think, especially with the way the internet works, and you'll see this with small businesses as well, right? Mm-hmm. Where the people who leave comments on websites or posts on Reddit or blog posts or TikTok and stuff like that, they're always going to be the extremes, right? And it's often being situations where people had a bad experience.
Yeah.
If everybody who had an average experience made a fucking review on TikTok, there's no interaction. That's not going to get boosted anywhere. No one wants to hear, I went to the doctor, it was fine, right? And that's the vast majority of interactions that you're going to have. It just doesn't move the needle. No one's interested in it. So what ends up getting amplified are the people that have either these exceptionally bad circumstances or exceptionally good circumstances. And unfortunately, most people, that's what's going to get fed to them, and they're going to see that, and that's what they're going to, base their frame of reference around. When in fact, the vast majority are just really, really straightforward.
Yeah.
So it's one of those situations where, like, unless you go and you live in a place and you kind of see what it's really like on a day-to-day basis and you interact and all other stuff, people are just not really going to truly understand it. And the reality of doing that is just so difficult. It's just not possible.
Well, and I think too, like, and this is something like living overseas, for example, right? Like, for example, right? Like in Zambia, we have socialized medicine as far as like we have government hospitals. There are private hospitals, but they're government hospitals. and anybody can go to the government hospital. You know what I mean? And how do I put this? Americans, and again, but the biggest, because I am American, you know what I mean? But like the biggest thing that I notice when I talk to Americans about these types of things is that like they're so wrapped up in how America is, they it's like they don't realize what the rest of the world is like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like just as like an example, like um even though stuff here, right, is bad, and we like one of our biggest issues is our medical system, right? Like the wealth disparity is one thing, but even though there is such a big wealth disparity here in America, like the amount of wealth the average American has compared to say a Zambian person, right? It's incredible. Like I still have friends who live in homes without electricity and like they don't have plumbing, all
Yeah.
that type of stuff, and it's just life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like they forget that, or they don't even know it. Like they think the
Yeah.
whole world is like America or whatever. It's like no.
Yeah, and I think too, their issue obviously is that you compare yourself to the people around you and how they're living,
Yeah.
uh, and that's how you kind of gauge how well you're doing, and it's very easy people to lose sight of the fact that, you know, even though in your current situation, in comparison to your friend group or the people that you work with, things aren't going amazingly well, you compared to a huge percentage of the population of the world, you are doing amazingly well.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No,
But
100%.
but that's not how things work. And like you even see it too. Like I came from like a middle class family, lower middle class family in a not a very nice area in the city, and that mentality sticks with you. And then you start making some money when you get your final real job, and you start hanging out with the people from work who have like, been in this life because their parents. No one in my family is in medicine. There's no other. I was the first doctor.
You're the only one, really.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so.
Can I say congratulations though? Because that's
Oh,
big.
thanks.
That's very big.
Yeah. But it's an insane change, right? Like.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys that I know that I work with, all their family members are doctors as well, and they've been in this world a lot longer than I ever have. And like there's this idea of like they call it the peasant mentality. Like my parents grew up in World War II, where sorry, that's not true. Like their parents grew up in World War II, but passed those ideas on to them. The idea of like, if you're not in the room, you shut the lights off. Don't waste electricity. If you go to eat dinner, everything on your plate, you have to eat, right? Oh, you're full? Well, you better finish your plate because you took that food.
Right.
That it's not like necessarily a poor mentality, but just this mentality of not wasting things. And it's very hard for that to, despite the fact that you become successful, to not feel that way. Like when you go to dinner with people from work and they're ordering all the shit, like just order like extra shit for the table because they just want to taste it, and there's just all this food left on the table that they're not going to take home or anything. That fucking blows my mind. It drives
The
me
waste. Yeah, the waste, dude. It's incredible. Yeah.
And then the other issue too is like I've always been a person who, if I can do something myself, I'd rather just do it myself than pay somebody else to do it for me. So like change the oil on the car, do something with the roof, I'll get up on the ladder, deal with that shit. Anything around the house, I'd rather deal with it myself. And once again, it just stems from that mentality of like, why would I pay somebody else to do something that I can do for myself, right? Whereas for them, they're like, why would you waste your time doing that when you can pay somebody to do it for you? Because it's their profession. It's like I just don't feel the same way about it. So
yeah,
it's that mentality stays with you kind of for the rest of their life, and it's really kind of hard to walk away from it.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Allied destroyer has left.
Bye, Gringler.
We talked about that.
We did talk about that. What are you feeling? Are you wanting to do more squids? Do you want to do bots or something else?
Whatever you want to do, man. I can run more.
Say it one more time.
Whatever you want to do, I can run another one.
All right, dude. Yeah, let's do some bots. Or not bots, yeah. Actually, yeah, let's change it up. I don't know, I get paranoid about these, like, major orders, you know what I mean? Like,
What is it right now? I haven't paid attention.
there's a couple of them. We've been working on this purple one.
Hold. Okay. So just hold a bunch of different places when the thing expires.
I mean, everybody's on Fenrir 3.
Cool.
Do some bugs. Yeah, why not?
But a single
there's
triumph more, and the operation is
Eradicate.
complete.
Yeah, let's start with
Initiating FTL jump to the Fenrir system.
Eradicate. Oh boy. Peasant mentality. I've never heard it called that before. I mean, but it makes sense. My grandfather, he grew up in the Great Depression, and that's how he thought. You know what I mean? Like, you don't leave the electricity or the lights on. You know what I mean? Or you don't leave the gas on or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Turn the house as cold as possible.
yeah, no, exactly.
Put on a
And
fucking sweater.
yeah, no, exactly. But it honestly does come from this
Has
place
joined squadron.
of like not
Engaging
having
orbital
something.
thrusters.
You know what I mean? And I don't know. I mean,
Orbit synchronized.
I think there's definitely a balance,
sure, yeah,
Right.
100%.
but there's aspects of that I think that people who have grown up in, opulence or wealth would do well to, pick up on as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. And there is honestly like a really big disconnect. Like, just talking about wage disparities. I keep saying disparity. There is a really big, like, not even just with the wage disparity, but just how, I mean, even in America, how people live differently than other people here. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, it's insane.
yeah.
Absolutely insane.
And honestly, like, the what is it? The cultural, like, just the small cultures that exist within America now, within the last 10 years, because of like the influx of refugees that have come in, like, I don't know. I was thinking about this. I think about streaming a lot, like, throughout the day, and like the types of jokes that I make. You know what I mean? A big portion of what I do is trying to make people laugh. Like, very seldom do I actually have conversations like this, and like, it would depend on my audience, right? Like, if it were people like my kids, I would say something along the lines of, like, something to do with brain rot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And if it were people like maybe just a little bit older than me, I might make a reference to some, like, I don't know, Billy Joel or some actor or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, something that I know that they will understand. But nowadays, like, there's so many cultures that exist within America. Even like I'm interacting with people in the stores, I don't know if they're gonna get, like, something that I say. You know what I mean? It's interesting. I think the neighborhood I live in, we actually have a very large refugee population, and I think it's awesome. Just, it's like, I like that my kids are getting that experience.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, I don't know. It's like melting pot just ramped up to 1,000. Like, melting pot. Yeah, melting pot.
Yeah, I mean, the area I grew up in, I was basically the only white kid in class.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, is basically whoever was being attacked, that country, those people would be next in line in Canada. And so it would be the Syrian refugees, Afghani refugees, Iraqi refugees, and then most recently Ukrainian refugees. But
Interesting.
Hellpod launch initiated.
What was there? Because if I'm being honest, I knew a couple of people who came from the area of Ukraine, but I don't think I've met any Ukrainian refugees.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different because Canada has the largest Ukrainian population.
Really?
Yeah, so basically it goes Ukraine, Russia, and then Canada for the largest Ukrainian populations in the world.
Wow.
I grew up with an insane amount of Ukrainians.
That's interesting.
There's everywhere.
Yeah. That's really interesting, actually.
They kind of they were absolutely instrumental in like putting together our farming in the heartland, in the plains.
Yeah. Oops. Crap.
Oh.
Joining the fray.
Did it blow up? Oh, here it is. Yeah, no, that is extremely interesting. What was the general consensus about the conflict in Ukraine? I'm interested, like.
Because the reality is, like, Canada as a whole has an insane large Ukrainian population. It's always been very pro-Ukraine.
Yeah.
No matter what, right from the beginning.
That's interesting. It sort of shifted, like with the political parties here. Recently, since Trump has come into office, it's almost like the political opinion of Ukraine has changed, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I think there was even a guy who wanted to. He was the other guy that attempted to assassinate Donald Trump.
The guy at the golf course.
Yeah, that guy, he went to Ukraine and tried to rally Americans to come support Ukraine and fight him. Like, he applied to the military in Ukraine. Yeah. And, yeah, no, when Donald Trump got into office, like, I don't know. It's just like the public opinion of Ukraine has totally shifted.
Yeah,
and our relationship with Russia has just been really weird. You know what I mean? Like, whether it's the 80s,
very much so.
Yeah. Whether it's the 80s, where it's like we're basically having a nuclear arms race, or it's like Trump is in office and like we're buddy with Putin, you know? Or I don't know. Like, if I'm being, I really think like maybe like I don't think that like they're as big of a player right now as, say, China. I think China is actually probably a lot more.
Clearly, and I mean they're being propped up by China, right?
Yeah.
It's in China's best interest to support Russia to sow discontent amongst the Western world.
Yeah.
They love this. Like, this could not work out better for them if they had planned it in their wildest dreams. Like, this is so perfect. It's nuts to think about how well this is playing into China's hands.
Oh yeah. Well, and too, like, I don't know if you've seen stuff recently. Like, it happened around the time of the TikTok ban here, actually. Like, after our TikTok got banned, a lot of American people shifted to a site called a social media site called Xiaohongshu, which is
Red Note.
Red Note. Yeah. And that's like I thought it was hilarious. Like, if I'm being honest with you, because it's like, if they're trying to like stop us from giving China our data, we're just gonna give China our data. You know what I mean? I thought it was funny, but like all of a sudden, like stuff about like the city in China that's like super technologically advanced is being talked about, and just like the general rhetoric about China shifts. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I find
So-
I find that stuff really interesting.
I can't really say a lot, but so there've been trainees, like medical trainees, that have come over from China, and they just flat out admit that they've been a part of these teams that go and harvest organs from bigger puzzles.
Liberty can
And-
see you through.
Basically, it's part of their training, because their training is entrenched in their government. So much so that the university that I'm a part of refused to take Chinese fellows because they could not be in a situation where a fellow that they're training is traced back to this program.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, like, that story blew up a couple of years ago, and then it just gained no traction. It's kind of swept under the rug, and yeah. Even now, it's crazy. Like, you'll have patients that go to China, buy an organ, get it transplanted, and then they come back to Canada in our case, and then it's caused such a huge ethical dilemma that the Society of Nephrologists have said that they want to make it so that these patients will be arrested at the airport for organ trafficking. That didn't go anywhere because, like, how would you enforce it? Like, it'd be a huge, like, fucking insane thing. But it's nuts. Like, we've had patients that have come back and they don't have a new organ. They don't have a new kidney. They had a sham operation. They're just told that, things will pick up on the plane when you get home, blah, 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 and then they do the scan back home and they have no new organ. Or they come back and then they have some weird multi-drug resistant bacterial infection that we don't have here. And it becomes a huge issue, then we have to take the organ out and they lose it anyways. So,
Wow.
It's a different world.
Dude, that's insane. So wait, so like
Help pod prime.
so if I'm understanding it correctly, like
Engaging orbital thrust.
some of these people who are doctors from China are like sending people to China to get organs. Wait,
So
I
basically,
think I lost it somewhere along the
yeah.
way.
So basically, what happens? I mean, once again, you can only speak to the stories that I had been told,
Right.
which aren't current. These happened in the past.
Sure.
But at the time, what would happen is there were political prisoners that would be executed, and the doctors would wait in a van and rush the patient to the hospital where they'd harvest their organs and then perform transplants. And it was all for pay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, and honestly, like, but that side of their government, a lot of people, like, they forget about. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, of course.
I think it was like a couple of, it was over, no, I forget how long ago it was, but they were like people from China who had come to the States and they had gone back were at risk of being like imprisoned. And then they had put like a bunch of Islamic people in camps and stuff like that. Like, dude, that is wild. That's wild. That makes me think of like North Korea, honestly. like, dude. Wow. And that's really sad. Did you hear about that guy, that kid that went to North Korea and he got framed for stealing a poster
Yeah.
and they kept him there?
Yeah.
Dude. What a tragedy, dude. Like, man. That's depressing bullshit, bro.
No, 100%.
Dude, it's sad.
Launch initiated.
It makes me. Did you ever see that movie? Oh, what was it? It was Seth Rogen and yeah, The Interview. You know what I mean? I heard a lot of people get pissed off about it, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, the way they depict it, there isn't a lot of conversation, I feel like, nowadays about what goes on over there. It's like just sort of this thing that everybody knows about. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I don't know. It's just
Today, the light of liberty.
As with anything, the news cycle moves so fast these days.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't keep up.
No, yeah, 100%. And it's not like I don't know. I don't want to say that it's like more stuff is happening, but it's just the rate that we switch topics. You know what I mean? Like that's that's insane. That's insane. Oh, dude. Wow. Sorry. And then, so with the organ situation, like people were just going to get organs over there, I guess, who had been on wait lists for a while. Is that more or less what was happening?
Yeah, so there's a few different situations it could be in. One is that... Sorry, man.
No, you're good. You're good. I ran in front of you.
One is that you're just low down on the transplant list. The other one could be that you're not a transplant candidate, right? For one reason or another, you're not even being listed. And this might be the only way you can get organs. So for example, there's that controversy in the States right now with, what is she? She's the adopted niece of VP.
Of Vance?
Yeah, it's his adopted niece has a heart condition and needs a heart transplant, but her family refused to vaccinate her, and so they're refusing to list her for transplant because she's not vaccinated, which is a thing.
Yeah.
It's not like they're making an example of her. That's like by the book. And so now it's kind of set off this whole firestorm about she's being persecuted for her religious beliefs because the reason why she didn't get vaccinated was due to religious reasons. But like, we don't have a shit ton of fucking pediatric hearts like that, right? So
Yeah.
it's a very finite resource, and to treat people hearts unvaccinated poses a much higher risk because they're going to be immunocompromised the rest of their life because they're going to have immunosuppression. So, anyways, it's just a very interesting story. Some people were saying that they were wondering whether or not he would take back channels to go to a different country just to get it done. But now, if he did, everybody knows the story, so you wouldn't be able to hide it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like either she gets vaccinated or wow.
There's just like all no-win situations.
If I'm being real with you, man, I didn't know that. I didn't know that had happened. I didn't hear about that. And again, like news here, right? Like whether or not you hear about something, it's kind of, I don't know. We recently got this like there's this news source that we get now. It's like basically it's just an app that's like shows you the stories that people are talking about. Anyways, but, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, yeah. I forget what it's called. Globe? No, what is it? Blind Spot.
Yes.
Yeah.
The whole idea is that,
I'm just kidding.
the whole idea being that to pick news sources from areas that you may have a quote-unquote blind spot to, just based on what you normally read.
Did I fry you?
No. I just got fucking. I got right.
Yeah, no, but honestly, like, I don't know, like, it makes sense that we haven't like heard about that on a wide scale here. You know what I mean? But that's weird. Yeah, no, I hadn't heard about that at all.
Any type of stuff that has like a medical slant, though, if I didn't see it directly in like the millions of fucking group chats I'm a part of, somebody's gonna bring it up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's sort of like a hazard of the job.
Oh yeah, 100%. Wow. JD Vance. Yeah, no, it's all honestly like that. It really does interest me, like the types of stuff that like the perspective that Canada has of America and just all of this, and even just like what y'all hear versus what we hear. You know what I mean? Like that's why it interests me a lot.
The other crazy thing is, essentially, all but one of our major news networks are American-owned.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so wild.
Dude. We have one broadcaster, which is akin to like your PBS.
Yeah.
Which is CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, which is what they call it. Oh my gosh, he's great. They have these things called crown corporations, which are corporations that are held by the government. And it's the only one that's technically Canadian owned. All the other ones have American owners.
Wow.
But it is kind of messed up. I mean, like a lot of, when you trace down that news stuff, right? If you look at Murdoch owns so much, and Murdoch's from Australia.
Yeah.
So you like a lot of these major American news organizations are technically owned by an Australian.
That's so interesting. Wow. That blows my mind, honestly.
These fucking stalkers are just
dude.
brutal.
Yeah, they are brutal.
I think this is that like variant, yeah?
I think so.
Somebody else speak to it.
I don't
They're
know.
talking about the gloom affected bugs, and I think it's these stalkers and the hunters that are with them. You can hear a rare sample. Oh, it's rare.
I do?
Oh, I was standing next to it. It was on the ground. You could hear
Okay.
that noise it was playing.
Sending in an eagle.
Crap. There was something I wanted to fucking talk about. What was it? News. I hear hissing. What is that?
I think it's just stalkers.
Tagging map. West.
Fuck, they are
Am I close to
everywhere.
a stalker nest? I might be close to a stalker nest.
Enemy tactical asset.
They're all
within
over
threat
me.
range.
Oh, yeah, somebody found it. You did.
Yeah,
You
that's
found
me.
it.
Yeah. Stalker nest, dude.
I'm fighting them on the other side of the map too.
Huh?
They're,
Yeah,
they're everywhere.
Permanent hive structure destroyed.
Yeah, I just heard them hissing, and I'm like, what is that? It's like, it sounded like a snake or something.
Orbital inbound.
Oh, fucking hell.
Oh man.
Loadout spotted. Prepare to
I
exterminate.
just can't even. I can't outdamage them. They get to me too fast.
What weapon are you using?
Reinforcing.
Incendiary breaker.
I'm still using the blitzer. I feel like the blitzer is just such a good.
Objective critical stratagem available.
Just push them back, yeah. Stuns them a bit.
Yeah, it stops him from moving. That's why I mean, especially like on the no way. Creepy bastard. Especially the squids. No. Killed by Tom. Who's that?
Hunter.
Crap. I am on the other side of the map too.
Deploying reinforcements.
Is that a bile titanfall right there? It is. Holy shit. Yeah, these holes that bile titans walk out of now.
Oh really?
Yeah. It just spawns infinitely until you close it.
That's kind of cool, actually. I like that change.
And if I had anything that I could hurt them with, I would be much happier.
Right?
Requesting advanced
Fuck.
weaponry.
What am I thinking? Dude, there was one topic. What was it? Ukraine, no.
Okay, here we go. Okay,
Sample
one's down.
collected.
Is it marked on the map? No, it's not even marked on the map.
Minutes remaining.
I should put it back.
Jackpack inbound.
Back in back.
Mother.
Requesting jackpack. Calling down a support weapon.
Trying to. Is this dead? Oh, it must be dead.
This is a different song. I don't believe it when they say if you saluted it goes fast. Holy crap, it does! No, it doesn't.
The rising of the flag?
Yeah, does it?
I thought just if there's more people around it goes faster.
I thought so too. I think so. I don't know.
You took out the shrieker,
Stalker nest?
target, yeah.
Yeah, I did. Oh yeah, honestly, dude, the Blitzer, bro, it's the way to go.
I feel like the rest of the map just has stalkers on it regardless.
I mean, there might be a couple over here, or maybe they're hunters. I don't know. I haven't been hit by any like invisible ones.
No, these ones are like very red. Fast, but they don't go invisible.
Calling down a sentry.
The flag race?
Near the flag race.
My bad, bro. Sorry.
Calling in reinforcements. Get some. Get some.
Oh, what the fuck? Is that me?
You might, Oh yeah, they spit acid too. That's weird. The gloom. Yeah, I think, yeah. Ooh. They're just hunters that spit acid? That's weird. Ooh. Oh, bro, no, it was a stalker that was spitting acid on me.
Yeah.
What the frick, man? I'm like over here getting ruined. I'm like, what is that? I kind of get why people carry guard dogs around, honestly, now.
Yeah. I'll tell you.
Oh, my back.
Sending in an eagle.
Oh,
God.
Enemy tactical asset within range.
Sending in an eagle.
sending in an eagle. Oh, the gas, bro. Oh, it's his guard dog does gas, maybe?
Request approved. Reinforcements.
Oh, shriekers as well?
Oh.
Ready to liberate.
Tactical asset
Hot shot at the shrieker. Fuck.
This is a freaking mega nest.
I was just trying to get the last flag.
Ouch.
Hellbomb armed. Clear the area.
Ouch. I don't know where my stuff is.
Fire in the hole.
Were you over by P4?
I was on the last play.
Permanent hive structure destroyed. Dropping a pin.
Yeah.
North.
Ooh.
100 meters. Requesting air support. Outpost cleared.
Ugh.
Requesting orbital. Requesting air support. Bug tunnel breach. Requesting sentry.
Holy shit.
Orbital inbound.
Bro, is it intense over there or what, dude?
Yeah.
I'm just like walking. There's not a lot going on over here.
Shit, bad.
Oh, it's a meteor shower. Oh, wow.
Found something.
What did I find? Ugh. Mm.
Motherfucker.
Reinforcing.
Oh, shit.
Breach. Orbital inbound. Liberty save me.
Liberty save me!
Requesting advanced weaponry.
For prosperity.
Set the flag.
Oh, wow! Bro, he just comes out of the hole, dude. Ooh, fuck.
Oh shit.
Requesting air support. Out of ammo.
Oh, man. The chaos, bro. Where are you going?
Wait.
Out of ammo. Freedom. Triumph of it.
Freedom!
The extraction shuttle awaits your request.
Oh, wow. It's on the other side of the freaking map, too. I have this bad habit of running in front of people while they're shooting. Oh.
Alright.
Ugh.
We get back our shit that's on the ground.
I think I grabbed your samples.
Here, one right here. Yeah, got this one.
Requesting air support.
I don't see any other sample containers, unless there's one in this mess
Dropping a
over
pin.
here.
East. Far.
Probably good to go.
Tagging map.
Oh, there were two. There were two. Shrieker nests.
Yeah? What?
Two
Okay.
stalker alerts too.
So there was a broadcast tower.
So So wait, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mission at 20 minutes remaining.
Yeah. Just run for evac.
Yeah, let's just do it. Ooh. Nice.
Found something! You may proceed to extraction when ready. Heavy! North. Close. Heavy! North. Tagging location. Close.
Oh, I think I remember what I was going to talk to you about. What do you think about BRICS?
Oh, like the economic.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Yeah. How they're trying to I think Russia was involved with it too, but they were trying to basically oh fuck. They were trying to basically. Yeah. Yes. To take away or basically so they didn't have to use the American dollar. Oh, what am I doing, dude?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an unfortunate situation where a lot of countries are feeling that they're forced in this direction.
Yeah.
Because they can't count on the United States to be the solid foundation it has been for the last 500 years.
Yeah,
So,
no, straight up.
I mean, when you talk about any of the guys at work, everyone's just talking about why aren't we forming stronger economic relationships with countries other than the United States. Does with talks already with the UK, this idea of Canada joining the EU, Canada creating its own agreement directly with Mexico. I don't know. It's just the reason why it never came up before is from an efficiency standpoint, it makes no sense. You have the world's largest trading partner right across the border.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and honestly, there's so many countries too that do business with America, you know, and even just the American market, right? Americans. Oh, I don't know. I threw that out there like that. That's my fault. The American market, dude. It's just so many people sell to Americans, and Americans buy so much stuff. You know what I mean? It's incredible. I don't know. I know that it honestly the economists that I listen to, they were really not freaked out per se, but they said that if this happens, it could destroy our economy.
Oh, it's very, very easily could.
Yeah.
One of the biggest aces in the hole that Canada has is potash. So, yeah, so Canada has one of the largest supplies of potash in the world. And potash is required to make fertilizer. And basically all potash used in the United States almost entirely comes from Canada. And so if Canada decided to put an export tax on potash going to the United States, or decided to unilaterally stop exporting potash to you guys, it would just decimate your entire farming industry.
Yeah.
And planting season is coming up, right?
Yeah.
So it's the thing that, in Canadian papers they've been talking. The two big ones are potash and electricity.
Right. Yeah.
And so either of those things would just cause mass huge waves in the economy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, but the sad part about it is that it would be mutually assured destruction. Like it would just fuck both of us up terribly.
Oh yeah. And I don't know, like that's the thing, man. I don't really understand why like our government or the American government is doing all this posturing now, right? To me, it's like, I don't know. There's some sort of geopolitical thing I just don't understand. You know what I mean? But yeah, I know that it's shaking up a bunch of stuff, and then I think like I haven't kept up with it like I probably should, but I know that he had mentioned implementing the tariffs, and then he like backtracked on it, and so.
Yeah, so the biggest one that was happening was going to be, oh wow, there's a third stalker layer. So they, both aluminum and steel, which you guys bring in a huge amount from us in order to manufacture things.
Yeah.
We're getting a 25% tariff. And then our premier of Ontario was going to slap a 25% surcharge on all electricity coming from Canada and the United States, which is a huge deal. And in retaliation to that, Trump was going to increase the tariff on aluminum and steel to 50%. And then that kind of went back and forth, and then they stepped back and they got rid of both of those things. But the crazy thing is that they've mentioned those numbers and they're like on the table. It's just that they're not being implemented at this point in time.
Yeah.
But you can imagine that any company or even in a household that's in that catchment area, if your electricity all of a sudden goes up by 25%, like it's insane.
Oh yeah.
Insane spike in costs.
Dude, yeah, 100%. 100%. I don't know. Like I said, like
The galaxy awaits your salvation.
it feels like the American government is trying to like signal strength for some reason, and I think part of it is because of the whole BRICS thing.
The lives of humanity's present
Yeah.
are a crumb.
I mean, the frustrating part though is that
A boundless load.
by alienating so many
Remain
people,
ever vigilant for
they could
deceit
very
and
well,
treachery.
you know, be pushing
They can
people
take root
towards
in the
that
smallest of
Yeah.
cracks.
system without them because it's becoming
The enemy may anticipate but
a
one.
protective measure.
Help us thrive.
Yeah.
Like if we can't count on you, but we need to do something on our own, right?
Yeah. And who knows? Maybe that is what needs to happen. You know what I mean? Like maybe America has run its course. Like I feel like that's something that like is being talked about as like the older system. Like we were talking about earlier with AI.
Yeah.
I think like the older system has just like it's not working anymore. People are unsatisfied with it. People are upset with it. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of rhetoric around like, well, Trump being elected is a mandate, and it's like I don't know. Like I know people are unhappy, right? But like I don't know. We'll see how things change. It's who knows? I mean, America could not be a thing, you know, after this presidency. Like, and I think that's what a lot of Americans are afraid of, especially like people who aren't on the right, like whether or not like our democracy will cease to exist or whatever. I don't know. Who knows?
Help pod launch initiated.
I just want to play my games, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and that's the sad reality is that most people just want to live their fucking lives.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about this bullshit happening on a daily basis.
Yeah, no, 100%.
All the galaxy looks to you for salvation. Let nothing.
Oh, what's a more...
Noises.
Huh? Oh, that you're
Those
saying...
noises.
Yeah, stalkers, man. What's a more lighthearted topic we could talk about? What type of music do you like, Gene?
Calling down support weapons.
I'll listen to anything, to be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah, same. I
Only
have a
thing That was the only thing I probably can't listen to is jazz.
jazz.
Never really got into jazz.
Doesn't like jazz.
Oldies, any of that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And then growing up, no one was really into country, but now country's cool, so everyone listens to country.
Yeah, country. Isn't that weird? Like, country music is kind of like Post Malone does country now,
Yeah, like Beyonce does country.
right? Like, what was it? Was it Shabu? Was his name Shabuzi? Yeah.
She's good. I listen to Zach Bryan all the time.
I mean, that's fair. I'm not a big country guy. If I'm being honest with you, like, I'll listen to it every now and then.
Yeah.
But I like older country music, like Rascal Flatts and stuff like that. Oh my god. Woo! Dang, bro.
The other one I like is he's more of a folk singer, new age folk singer. On YouTube, Jesse Wells. He pops up every once in a while on Reddit when he goes viral. He went viral with his song about United Healthcare.
Oh, yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
White guy, he sounds a little like Bob Dylan. He has shaggy hair.
Yes.
In like the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
He also has a really good song called Wars and Murder.
He sings about like controversial stuff, basically. Like,
100%. Anything that's in the news, he'll make a song about it and already like have it out within a day.
Engaging terminal.
It's pretty impressive, actually.
yeah, dude. I wish, again, dude. Like, I was talking to some guys earlier. I wish I had that kind of music. That's like one of the things that actually, like, if I'm being real, I feel like would be difficult for me to learn. There's not a lot that I don't think that I could pick up if I gave it time. Music has always been something that's just been very hard for me to figure out.
Yeah, people who have a natural like musicality, it's very impressive.
It is. It is. I wish I had that gift. I just don't. Growing up, I listened to a lot of. Well, I say growing up. During high school, probably the biggest genre of music I listened to was like punk or emo music, stuff like that. Yeah, so I'm really big into stuff like Fall Out Boy, My Chemical Romance, all shit like that. Whiny shit.
I grew up with a lot of Eastern Europeans, Macedonians, Greeks, Italians.
Okay.
It was all like club, Gino music.
I kind of know what you mean. Like we had some friends that listened to that type of stuff. There was actually a Greek family where I grew up, and they owned a bakery.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, our neighbors are Macedonian. Their neighbors are Macedonian. We had a whole street that was basically Macedonian, Greek, or Italian.
Yeah. Greek food is amazing, though. Like, I'll be real. Greek food is delicious.
Yeah, where we were just spoiled. You can get
Rare sample collected.
Persian food, Jewish food, Chinese food, Korean food, Thai food. Like, it's just crossroads of the world.
Sending in an eagle.
Alright.
I just recently found an African food place I want to try.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, they got fufu.
Nice.
It's some stuff that like I grew up growing up. We called it Nshima.
Okay.
And I haven't had it in so long.
Yeah.
Just because it's mainly it takes a lot. It's like making porridge that's like really hard almost. Like you gotta stir it. It's just kind of exhausting to do. Music though.
Oh, the other thing we had a lot of was reggae. A lot of Jamaicans in our area.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of Jamaicans. Jamaicans and Hakka, which are like Chinese people from Jamaica.
Chinese people from Jamaica?
Yeah.
That's
really interesting. Yeah. They look Chinese with their strong Jamaican accent. Cool guys.
Oh yeah.
Alright. So let's...
I think there's like one bullet left, but I can't find it.
Persist. Ah, fuck, bleed out already, come on. I was gonna throw my gun.
I got the terminal.
Is it not fully loaded?
I think it might be, actually.
Yeah, you did. One more arrow puzzle. No. Resupply?
Democracy delivered.
Resupply.
Objective nearby. Calling down supplies.
I actually really like African music too, but that's just, again, because I grew up in Africa.
Yeah, my wife loves Afrobeats. But,
Oh
she
no.
speaks French. So she listens to a lot of that as well. And then patois music. I see broken.
There was this Zambian artist that became sort of pseudo-popular globally. His name's Afronika.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. There's actually a TV show that came out on Netflix called Team 4 or something like that, Super Team 4, and it's about Zambia and the capital city. It's really cool. When it came out, I freaked out. It's like someone made this show about your hometown. You know what I mean? It's nuts.
Yeah, we have a lot.
Go ahead.
We have a lot of South Africans
Yeah.
in South African doctors. They come and work with us. They all have crazy.
South, South Africans are kind of wild, and it's kind of hit or miss. I've met cool South Africans. I've met really racist South Africans. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of a mixed bag, honestly. But then again, there's really racist Americans too. You know?
Yeah, I think it's real. That's a reality no matter where you go.
Yeah. Well, and the thing too, like, so even in Zambia, like, the locals, they have their own form of racism, but they actually really despise Chinese people over there. In Zambia.
Yeah, I imagine that any of those, if you go back, there's probably at some point in time where one country may have taken advantage of the other country in a certain situation.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. We just, once again, like, growing up, it was literally everywhere. Filipinos, Sri Lankans, Pakistanis, Indians, Persians, Afghanis, Iraqis, Israelis, anywhere you can think of.
Just a really big melting pot of people.
Basically one of arguably the most multicultural places in North America.
And it makes sense. It makes sense. Especially if you've got better healthcare too, you know what I mean? Like,
the other thing too, it's such a funny thing because it goes back to what you're taught in grade school.
yeah.
So in grade school in Canada, you're taught that Canada and the United States have a differing approach to immigration. And that in Canada, you have something called a cultural mosaic, whereas in the States you have a melting pot. And so the idea being that, like, when you come to the States, you're American, and you kind of, like, assimilate to a certain degree. In Canada, you maintain where you came from, but you're still Canadian. And so, like, growing up, if you asked anybody, like, where you're from,
Tagging location.
even if they're born in Canada, they know what you're really asking is, like, where's your family from,
Dropping a pin.
right?
Yeah.
Far.
So, like, the Italian guy who's born, like, 2 streets over, you say where you're from, he says I'm from Italy. From Italy, sorry. And everybody maintains their own churches, everyone has their own cultural centers, and it's good and bad. It's great in the sense that you get to experience all their cultures everywhere, but you do have situations where, like, you'll have pockets of the population that just don't even need to learn English to get by, because in a certain area you can just speak your mother tongue, and there's so much community built up around you that you can get by with it. Like, even now, like, at my hospital, on any given day, I'd say probably about 20% of the patients that I have don't speak any English.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. And it's not like they're speaking French. Like they're not speaking our other, like, language. They're speaking their, mother tongue. Now, mind you, it works out in our favor because during daytime hours, you're going to have one of the nurses or another doctor or a TA or somebody's going to be able to translate for you. Like, we have proper translation services, but they just take forever. So it just takes like 5 minutes to grab somebody who can translate for you. And it's kind of a given. Everyone just accepts it.
Yeah.
We also have a very huge refugee population, and the other thing in Canada that you get is not only do you have healthcare as a resident of Canada, once you're a refugee in Canada, you have refugee healthcare, which is the same thing. So all of our refugees come in on full refugee coverage, which is great because then, like, I go and see a patient, a refugee. The paperwork's a little bit different, but I get paid exactly the same as and where we're located, I'd say on any given month, I'll probably see 5% of the patients are refugees. And they're here for, a number of different reasons. But, ooh, I forgot about the mines. But yeah.
Yeah, no, that cultural mosaic, I don't think I've ever heard it put that way. Like, and again, like, I don't know. Like, for Americans, like, we don't hear a lot about, like, stuff that's not American related. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I think we are moving more towards, like you said, like a cultural mosaic, just because, like, we have had such a big influx of refugees come in. However, like, there are still, like, groups here, nonprofits, whatever, that try to help people integrate by teaching them English, you know what I mean, getting them set up with culture, yada yada yada, whatever. And but at the same time, like, my visiting my sister in New York, like, they have this what do they call it? Crap. Where she lives in Brooklyn, they called it something, Little Something. Maybe it was Little Jamaica, because there was a lot of people from Jamaica there. Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, in Toronto, all throughout the city, there's Chinatown, there's Little Portugal, there's the Jamaican area, there is the Filipino area, Markham. Markham's, like, so Chinese. Yeah, so I mean, that definitely does exist, and it just has to do with when people come over, to a certain extent, they're gonna live where,
Point me to the enemy.
their relatives are living.
Yeah, yeah.
Requesting advanced
So it
weaponry.
just makes sense. But
Backpack inbound.
yeah, I mean, the funny thing is, even for me, like, my parents were born in Canada, but their parents were all born in the United Kingdom.
Really?
And yeah, and so when people ask me where I'm from, what they're really saying is like, where did you immigrate to Canada from? And I'm English. And so even though like white guy, Canadian, born in Canada, they're not asking me, are you Canadian? They're saying like, where's your family originally from? That's the question.
Yeah, and that's something like, I don't know. At least here in America, we don't ask that for some reason. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, it's just kind of culturally taboo to do.
Yeah, no, I can imagine that.
Yeah.
And the thing is too, like, if somebody asks me that question, it's not like there's no negative connotation whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They're just curious.
Yeah, and I having grown up in another country, asking where someone is from, it's just normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Here in the States, I've had people look at me like, what do you mean, where am I from? It's like, like, where is your family from? You know, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so weird. It's so weird. I hit the. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. Oh, the SSD.
You still have to call it down or no?
No, I thought I did.
Oh, sorry, that's me.
No, that wasn't you. That was a stalker.
No, I know. I shot the stalker with the explosive weapon.
Request approved. Reinforcements on the way.
You guys are collateral.
I was collateral. Did I come on?
Timer reporting to the front.
I grabbed your samples.
Nice. I have a bunch of samples on the south side.
One step closer to mission completion.
Oh yeah, I see them. Fucking more stalkers.
Yeah, there's like a nest somewhere around here.
Which direction? That way?
No, somewhere. I haven't seen it yet. That's what I was looking for.
Out of ammo.
My wife's family, so they're originally from Romania, and then they lived in Sweden for a little while, and then before they came to Canada. So my wife speaks Romanian, Spanish, but she also speaks Swedish, Portuguese, Italian, Korean.
That's neat. Holy crap.
Yeah. Comes in handy whenever we travel.
Oh, dude, yeah. No, we
Rare sample
I
collected.
mean, again, like, we have a job market basically for anybody that can speak Spanish. You know what I mean? But that's like,
completely.
yeah.
She actually, so she does real estate in addition to teaching, but for a year there, while she was waiting to get her first teaching job, she got hired on by Air Canada, an airline, to be an airline stewardess because she spoke multiple languages. And so they let her fly to all of the Spanish countries because she could speak Spanish. She could fly to all the French countries because she speaks French. And then similarly, with the real estate stuff, she'll go to Dubai and work there every so often because they have all these international clients that are coming in to buy property there. So they wanted to be speaking French or Spanish or whatever their home language is. She's able to do that. But the best thing is when we go down to like California or Florida or Mexico or anywhere in the Caribbean, really, she can speak. It's super helpful. I speak no Spanish, so I'm useless.
Yeah, no, same. Again, that's another thing, like language. I don't know. It's just it's been difficult. Like, there's some stuff I've picked up just from being like around people, you know what I mean? And like even like hearing them, like I can understand partly, but speaking it is just
Different level.
oh yeah, man, yeah. No, it's very impressive skill. So not even just like one language alone is impressive. Like, or sorry, being bilingual is impressive in and of itself. You know what I mean? But like having multiple languages that you can speak, like that's like that. Wow, that's amazing.
I've always been more like math sciences, so for me, I was never great with languages. But it's interesting, like, just growing up, different cultures, you always, like, you pick up all the bad words and all the bad phrases.
Yeah.
So, like, I know that, but they're completely useless other than to make somebody laugh, you know, like an operating room or something like that. The Filipino nurses love it when you say something dirty.
Yeah, no, exactly. Hearing someone say like, and again, like, I don't, for Americans, I don't know. It's like they don't get that. Like when I was in Zambia, like I would just say something like a bad word in Dumba, and they would love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It shows that you at least pay attention.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, oh man. And you know what's wild too? It's like just talking to you, like, and you're just like just a country away. Like there's a big amount of space. I live in Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but still, it's just like how different the world is. Just like a couple hundred, or maybe like a couple hundred miles north. You know what I mean? It's wild. We've actually.
Yes, sir.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that one of the biggest shocks for us was, I mean, we'd go down to the States pretty regularly for sports tournaments when you're growing up, and then you like go for like family vacations and all other stuff. And the other thing too is you just go across the border shop, right? A lot of the time.
Yeah.
But the first time we had like an exchange program, so it was part of our like band. We were partnered with a school down in Beech Grove, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And 1 year they come up and stay with us, and then the next year we go down and stay with them. You spend a week with the family, and it's like this long held tradition, really cool. But the first night we get there, the guy we were staying with, he shows us his bedroom, and we sit down on, like, he had a sofa in his bed. It was a pull-out sofa, and this thing's poking me in the ass, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And he goes, oh, it's probably my gun. And we first of all were like, haha, like, you know, you get the joke, you guys are all guns, blah blah blah. And he's like, no, that's probably, I think that's where I left it. And sure enough, it was a handgun. It was just like sitting in the things, and that was literally the first time I'd ever touched a gun, and I was I'd been like 16 at the time.
Yeah.
And that's also the first time I'd even seen a gun in real life. Like, I mean, other than, you know, a cop walks by and has a gun on their head.
Yeah.
Like, that's just such a world away for us. It's just so insanely different.
Oh yeah, we Americans, like, they've got a ton of guns, and even again, like, seeing guns in Zambia, like, the police walk around with AKs. You know what I mean? But people don't just own guns there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's very odd, I think. I don't know. I don't know. I'd be careful what I say since people are watching me. But I'm not pro. I don't want to say I'm like pro weapon, I guess. You know what I mean? I've never felt like I've needed it at the same level that like most Americans do.
I feel that it's anybody, you know, down there. It's just you're in such a very difficult situation, which is when I walk around and I see an argument taking place, or if I'm getting involved in an argument, you know, somebody bumps you in traffic, something stupid, or you're at like a nightclub or you're at a restaurant or whatever, the last thing on my mind is that this guy has a gun, right? Maybe a knife, but like they had a gun, like that'd be insane,
right?
It wouldn't even come into my mind. Whereas it's just it's such a different mentality, and the difficulty there becomes that once you start assuming that almost everybody has a weapon, I feel like people that are even, not really for guns, you feel like you kind of have to have something, because if everyone else has something, like it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
No, exactly. Yeah, you can't really put the toothpaste back in the tube. You know what I mean? Like that's
no,
yeah.
completely.
Yeah. It's a very difficult situation, like you said. I think like one of the craziest. Oh, go ahead.
No, just like for us, at least in Ontario, to own a gun, not only do you get to go through like psych evaluations and all that stuff, and obviously the waiting period, blah 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 blah. You could have the gun in your house, right, and it has to be locked and all this. But for example, let's say I just want to transport the gun. You have to have it transported in a locked container, set with the ammunition separate, and you have to have proof showing that you're taking the gun either to a licensed gun range where you're going to shoot it, or you're taking it to like sell it or something along those lines. You can't just, you can never be just driving around with a gun. Like that's completely illegal.
Yeah.
Even if you legally own the gun, which it just goes to show you, like there's nothing you can really do with it.
Right. Yeah. No, it really, like here, especially in Texas. Texas is an open carry state, and people will carry guns just on their person. One of the craziest things that happened, and I'm trying not to dox myself. One of the craziest things that happened where I'm at is there was this guy, and he was driving. He was just driving, and he was hugging the bumper of the car in front of him, and the guy in front of him shot backward at him, and it hit his son in the head. Dude, yeah, like that kind of stuff doesn't happen all of the time, but just the fact that it happened, you know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy. Like over road rage, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, like that's not a very common thing that happens, but still. Ugh. And then like again, like the level of school shootings that happen, just tragic. I'm just thankful nothing like that's happened in my kids' school.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, God. Yeah, that is a big difference. A big difference in most other countries. But again, I think a lot of Americans don't realize. People don't just carry guns, you know?
Yeah, the whole thing it just feels so foreign.
Oh yeah.
Like the taste of freedom!
Yeah, it's not good. Well.
I am Buchanan. What's up, Buchanan?
Should we make an evac?
Yeah.
Standing in an eagle!
Delivering payload.
Tagging that, southeast, far.
Well. Get with a big friend.
Oh, did you bring the Quasar?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did they buff it?
It's a one-shot down to the head, yeah.
Oh wow.
It's...
Throwing grenade! Watching forward!
Calling in extraction.
Mission at 10 minutes remaining.
Hell divers!
Calling down a support weapon.
shuttle inbound. Requesting advanced weaponry.
I feel like we've been playing with these guys for a minute.
Oh yeah.
G3 and B4. Oh man.
ETA T-minus 1 minute.
Tac inbound. Calling down a support weapon.
ETA T-minus 30 seconds.
Requesting action force.
That bug is like half invisible.
T-minus 20 seconds.
Weird.
Yeah.
See that thing?
Yeah.
Control breach.
ETA T-minus 10 seconds. Clear landing zone.
Oh fuck. Pirate, no!
This is Pelican 1. I have visual on the instructions.
Request approved.
Oh.
Deploying reinforcements.
Pelican 1, landing in progress. Point these to the enemy.
Hey yo. Yo. Fuck!
Did that land on you?
Oh no. I think I just shot. I killed her buddy.
Right, where's the fucking samples?
Yeah, where the...
Do we have all the containers?
I think so. I think I grabbed them all. But where's the backpack?
I have the back line.
Alright.
Are you going?
Let's go.
Countdown initiated. Stand by for takeoff. Extraction complete. Pelican 1 beginning
Oh
ascent.
man. Democracy.
Liberty has seen you through.
Whew. Hell yeah. Oh. Well, I think I'm gonna call it a night, man.
Yeah,
It's nice.
same
Yeah, it's nice meeting you, bro.
Yeah.
Cool hanging out with you.
Same.
Yeah, we'll have to play again sometime. I usually,
Sure.
I'm probably gonna do a Helldivers stream on Friday nights. So
Okay.
yeah, if you want to join up, hang out,
Sounds good.
take it easy.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Peace. Pocket full of posh out.
Allied destroyer has left squadron.